What if staying strong after 60 had nothing to do with protein shakes, gym memberships, or supplements your doctor has never heard of? What if it was written down thousands of years ago? Most people over 60 are watching their muscles quietly disappear. They call it aging. They accept it. They move slower and tell themselves this is just what getting old looks like. But here is what nobody is telling you. The ancient Hebrews had men and women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s doing hard physical labor, walking miles, farming land, fighting wars. And they were not eating protein bars. They were eating specific foods, covenant foods, foods God placed in the diet of His people. And modern science is now proving in clinical trials that these foods protect muscle tissue, stimulate muscle protein synthesis, and slow the muscle loss most doctors say is simply inevitable. Today I am going to show you 12 of them. Stick around because number 9 contains a rare amino acid profile researchers are now calling nature's answer to sarcopenia. And number 12 was carried by Hebrew warriors into battle. Sports scientists now know exactly why. I am going to walk you through all 12 foods, what Scripture says about them, what modern protein science says about them, and exactly how to use them starting today. But first, I put together something for people who want to go deeper than one video. It is called The Biblical Home Healer. Over 100 ancient Hebrew remedies for pain, fatigue, brain fog, and more. God's original medicine cabinet rediscovered for today's families. Every remedy is rooted in Scripture and confirmed by modern science. The link is in the description. Grab it after the video. Now, here is what you need to understand before we begin. After 60, your body loses muscle at 1 to 2% every single year. Doctors call it sarcopenia. It leads to weakness, falls, metabolic slowdown, and loss of independence. But sarcopenia is not inevitable. It is dietary. And the ancient Hebrews had a natural defense against it that we threw away when we replaced real food with processed everything. These 12 foods are your defense system. Let's get into them. Before we hit number 1, are you new here? Welcome to Nature Heals. We do one thing. We go back to the source. Ancient Hebrew texts. Foods God designed for the human body. Wisdom that modern medicine has been quietly confirming for decades. We post every single week. And if that feeds your spirit and your body at the same time, hit subscribe right now and ring the bell. Because what is coming next week has been months in the making. You do not want to miss it. Now, the list. 1. Lentils. The muscle food of prophets Esau was a skilled hunter, a strong man, and he traded his entire birthright for a single bowl of red lentil stew. Genesis 25. People call him foolish. But in the ancient world, a bowl of lentils was survival. It was strength. It was exactly what a body pushed to its limit desperately needed. One cooked cup delivers 18 grams of protein, rich in leucine, the specific amino acid that triggers muscle protein synthesis. After 60, leucine sensitivity drops. Your body needs more of it to get the same muscle-building signal. Lentils deliver it. They also carry iron, folate, magnesium, and slow-burning carbohydrates that fuel recovery without spiking blood sugar. Soak overnight. Slow cook with cumin, coriander, and olive oil. That bowl Esau could not resist. His body knew exactly what it needed. 2. Eggs. The gold standard God designed first. Before protein powder existed, there was the egg. In Luke 11:12, Jesus uses the egg as the obvious symbol of a good gift from father to child. Not rare, daily, essential. Scientists literally use the egg as the reference point against which all other proteins are measured. One large egg delivers 6 grams of highly bioavailable complete protein, every essential amino acid your muscles need, in the right ratio. For people over 60, bioavailability is everything. Egg protein is absorbed and used at a rate plant proteins cannot match. Add leucine, vitamin D for muscle function, and choline for brain protection. And you have a near-perfect food. Boiled, roasted, fresh. No processing. Exactly as God designed it. 3. Lamb, the sacred meat that built strong nations. No animal is more central to Hebrew scripture than the lamb, the Passover meal, the sacrifice, what God provided when Isaac asked where the offering was. Genesis 22. The lamb was not just spiritually significant. It was the primary protein of an entire civilization. 100 grams delivers 25 grams of complete protein, including leucine, isoleucine, and valine, the three branched-chain amino acids that directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis and stop muscle breakdown. After 60, your body needs all three constantly. Lamb also carries zinc for testosterone production and muscle repair, and natural creatine, the same compound athletes supplement with, already present, ready to fuel recovery. The ancient Hebrews did not just eat lamb for ceremony, they ate it because their bodies thrived on it. 4. Goat's milk, the liquid protein of the promised land. God did not promise a land flowing with protein shakes. He promised milk and honey. Proverbs 27:27 is direct. There will be enough goat's milk for your household. This was not poetry. It was nutritional instruction. Goat's milk delivers 8 to 9 grams of protein per cup. But the quality is what matters for aging bodies. Its smaller protein molecules are easier for weakening digestive systems to absorb. It also delivers casein, a slow-digesting protein that releases amino acids over several hours, protecting muscle overnight when your body is most vulnerable to breakdown. Add calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium for the bone density muscles attached to. Drink it fresh. Ferment it into yogurt. Every form feeds the body God designed. 5. Fish, the omega protein of the Galilean table. Look at the disciples, fishermen, physical laborers, men who pulled nets and rowed boats from before sunrise. John 21 shows Jesus himself grilling fish over charcoal for tired, hungry working men. Not ceremony, a real meal. Fatty fish from biblical waters deliver 20 to 25 grams of complete protein per 100 grams. But for people over 60, the omega-3 fatty acids are the real story. EPA and DHA directly combat sarcopenia by improving muscle sensitivity to protein. After 60, your muscles become resistant to the anabolic signal. Omega-3s turn the sensitivity back up. Clinical trials show omega-3 supplementation increases muscle protein synthesis by up to 50% in older adults. The disciples had the fish. Simple, fresh, grilled over fire. Exactly as God provided it. 6. Almonds, the consecrated nut. When God designed the menorah, He specified almond blossoms as the pattern. Exodus 25. When He confirmed Aaron's priesthood, Aaron's rod produced almonds overnight. Numbers 17. Of all the trees in the ancient world, God kept returning to this one. 1 ounce delivers 6 grams of protein, plus nearly 20% of your daily magnesium requirement. Magnesium is directly involved in muscle contraction, relaxation, and protein synthesis. Studies show magnesium deficiency accelerates age-related muscle loss. Most people over 60 are deficient without knowing it. Almonds also carry vitamin E to protect muscle cell membranes from oxidative damage during recovery. Damaged membranes mean slower repair and faster breakdown. Raw, lightly roasted. God built sacred architecture in their image. That is enough instruction. 7. Chickpeas, the warrior's protein. In 2 Samuel 17, loyal men bring David emergency supplies as he flees Jerusalem. Scripture lists exactly what they carried. Beans and lentils were on that list. Battlefield food, desert army rations. 1 cooked cup of chickpeas delivers 15 grams of protein and 12 grams of fiber. That fiber slows protein absorption, creating sustained amino acid release throughout the day. Continuous muscle protection, not a spike and crash. Chickpeas are also rich in arginine, which stimulates growth hormone release and improves blood flow to muscle tissue. After 60, when growth hormone naturally declines, dietary arginine becomes one of the few natural tools to partially compensate. Those warriors were not surviving despite their diet. They were surviving because of it. 8. Raw honey. The ancient recovery food honey on a muscle list sounds wrong. It sounds like sugar. That thinking is modern and incomplete. Proverbs 24:13 is direct. Eat honey, for it is good. Jonathan dips his rod in wild honey, and his eyes brighten immediately. 1 Samuel 14. The promised land itself is defined by it. Raw honey contains a specific glucose to fructose ratio that makes it one of the most effective natural recovery carbohydrates ever studied. After exercise, muscles need glycogen replenishment fast. Honey delivers glucose for immediate uptake and fructose for liver glycogen restoration simultaneously. No other single natural food achieves both at once. Clinical trials show honey performs equally to commercial sports gels for post-exercise recovery. Its antioxidant compounds also reduce exercise-induced inflammation in muscle tissue. Less inflammation means faster recovery. Faster recovery means more muscle preserved. A spoonful after activity. The way the ancient Hebrews used it was not indulgence. It was a recovery protocol. 9. Locusts. Nature's answer to sarcopenia. Stay with me here, because your first reaction is probably everyone's first reaction. John the Baptist lived in the Judean wilderness for years. Physically lean, mentally sharp, spiritually fierce. Scripture tells us exactly what he ate: locusts and wild honey. Matthew 3:4. This was not desperation eating. Leviticus 11:22 explicitly permits locusts. They were harvested, dried, roasted, and eaten across the ancient world as a primary protein source. Dried locusts contain 60 to 75 grams of protein per 100 grams dry weight, higher than chicken, beef, or fish by comparable measure. But the amino acid profile is what researchers are calling extraordinary. Exceptionally high leucine concentrations, plus the full branch-chain amino acid trio that directly combats sarcopenia. Japanese and European researchers studying locust protein for elderly populations found it absorbs and utilizes at rates comparable to whey, the gold standard of muscle-building supplements. John was not surviving in the wilderness despite what he ate. He was thriving because of it. 10. Figs, the prophetic fruit with a muscle secret. When King Hezekiah was dying from a deadly infection, Isaiah did not just pray. He ordered a poultice of figs pressed onto the wound. 2 Kings 20. Hezekiah recovered. For muscle preservation, figs deliver two critical nutrients most people never consider. First, copper, directly involved in forming collagen and elastin, the structural proteins that hold muscle tissue together during repair. Most people over 60 are copper deficient without knowing it. Second, potassium, which regulates the electrical signals that tell muscles to contract. Low potassium means weak, cramping, poorly coordinated muscle function. Studies consistently link low dietary potassium with accelerated muscle loss in older adults. The versions sold in plastic bags today are treated with sulfites that interfere with these very compounds. Quality matters enormously. The link to trusted sources is in the description. 11. Barley, the grain that quietly builds unbreakable muscle. When Jesus fed 5,000 people in John 6, the loaves were barley bread. Not wheat, not rice. Barley, the grain of physical laborers, soldiers, and farmers who needed sustained strength from before sunrise to after sunset. Barley contains the highest concentration of beta-glucan of any grain on Earth. Beta-glucan slows protein digestion in the same meal, creating a sustained amino acid release over several hours. Your muscles cannot store excess amino acids. They need a steady supply all day. Barley creates exactly that. Its beta-glucan also feeds gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids, which reduce the chronic low-grade inflammation now understood as one of the primary drivers of age-related muscle loss. The FDA allows a specific health claim on barley for cholesterol reduction. The science is that strong. The miracle of the loaves was feeding 5,000 people. The quiet miracle is what that bread was doing to their muscles every single day. 12. Pomegranate, the warrior's recovery fruit. Hebrew warriors carried pomegranates into battle. 200 carved pomegranates adorned the pillars of Solomon's temple. The high priest wore them on his garment. This was not decoration. It was a declaration. Pomegranates contain punicolagen, found almost nowhere else in nature. Inside the gut, it breaks down into urolithins. And urolithins do something no other natural compound has demonstrated as clearly. They trigger mitophagy, the process by which your body clears damaged mitochondria from muscle cells and replaces them with healthy ones. After 60, this process slows dramatically. Damaged mitochondria accumulate. Energy drops. Muscles fatigue faster. Urolithins restart the cellular cleaning process. Clinical trials published in Nature Metabolism showed urolithin supplementation in older adults significantly improved muscle endurance and mitochondrial function. Pomegranate also delivers potassium for muscle contraction, vitamin C for connective tissue repair, and nitrates that improve blood flow to working muscles, the same mechanism behind elite athletic performance. The warriors carried them because they recovered faster, moved stronger, and lasted longer. They did not have the clinical trial data. They had the results. 12 foods, thousands of years of Hebrew wisdom. And modern science is arriving at the same conclusions the ancient world already knew. The muscle loss doctors tell you is inevitable after 60 is not a verdict. It is a dietary gap. A gap between what your body was designed to eat and what modern food culture replaced it with. The ancient Hebrews were not counting macros. They were eating the foods God placed in their covenant land, prepared the way their traditions taught them. And their bodies responded with the strength to build civilizations, cross deserts, and fight battles at ages modern medicine considers impossible. The book was not wrong. The food was not primitive. What is primitive is the idea that we improved on it. If today changed how you think about food, about aging, about what God designed your body to do, the biblical home healer was written for you. Over 100 ancient Hebrew remedies for pain, fatigue, brain fog, and more. God's original medicine cabinet rediscovered for today's families. The link is in the description. Now drop a comment. Which food surprised you most? The locusts? The pomegranate? The barley? I read every single one. If you are not yet part of the Nature Heals family, hit subscribe right now and ring the notification bell. We post every week. And what is coming next is something I have been building for months. You do not want to miss it. See you then.